From WXOJLP Northampton, 103.3 FM, your Valley Free radio station. Welcome. I'm Warren Odess Gillette, and this is A Baha'i Perspective. Welcome to A Baha'i Perspective. I recorded an interview with Karim Rushdy on July 2nd, 2018. Karim is a rapper and a songwriter. We feature a number of his songs in the interview. He's also founder of the Rap Camp. The way Karim sees it, rap, as well as the use of technology in music making, are extremely quick paths to positive expression. Every voice deserves to be heard, but in our society, it's the loudest voice that gets the stage. With the Rap Camp, Karim seeks to create spaces where every voice is able to sing out or rap out. We talk about the Rap Camp in the interview. I started the interview by asking Karim where he grew up and what was religious life like growing up.
I was born in Haiti. When I was about 3, we moved to India, and then from India, we moved to California for a little bit, and then to Alberta in Canada. And then from there in grade 8, I went back to India for a year. And then after high school, I moved to the other side of Canada, the east side. So basically, I grew up mostly in Alberta, Canada. Those are like my formative years, you could say. Yeah, the experience of like all this moving around, a major reason why a lot of that happened was because of my religious life. You know, my parents were very involved in what we call international pioneering, where you kind of make a sacrifice to go to another place to spread the message of our faith, right? And essentially, it can take various forms. What my father was doing was a lot of social economic development work, so not necessarily directly teaching of the Baha'i faith, but, you know, doing work for the Baha'is, like social economic development type stuff. And yeah, so my experience is that it's kind of exactly who I am. I have no choice but to identify with that, because that's why we moved a lot, and everywhere we go, we meet the Baha'i community of the area. I really resonate with the Baha'i community. Anywhere I go, I immediately feel at home. So that's kind of one of the outcomes of this upbringing that I've had, is that my identity is intertwined with the Baha'i community.
So you're a second-generation Baha'i?
On my mom's side, yeah, she was the first in her family to become Baha'i. But on my father's side, I am, I think, 6th generation or something. It kind of goes quite a ways back to the beginning of the Baha'i faith.
In this country or outside of the country?
No, outside, yeah, in Egypt, in Iran, and also in what's now called Israel, in Haifa, and in Akka. My ancestors were there, yeah, at the time of Baha'u'llah.
Baha'u'llah being the prophet founder of the Baha'i faith.
Exactly.
You know, one of the major tenets of the Baha'i faith is independent investigation of truth. What was the process for you to transition from following footsteps of your family to actually owning the Baha'i faith as your faith?
That's a very good question. You know, a big part of it, I mentioned earlier that I went to India for a year. Part of the reason I did that is not just because I was interested to go back there and spend time with my father, which of course I was interested to do, but what really happened is I was kind of walking down the wrong path in life, and I was getting into some trouble. That's what really happened. And so that spurred on, you know, the consultation between my parents, I'm guessing. And so I ended up living in India. And what this did for me is it gave me a extreme culture shock, because although I was in India as a little kid, I didn't remember too much of it. And I had become really accustomed to the North American suburban culture norms. Going to India as a junior youth, like that's the term, you know, 11 to 14-year-old, roughly not exactly a child, not exactly a teenager, you know, that little in between phase, that's where I got to go to India. So it was a blessing in disguise. I was viewing it kind of as a punishment, but the outcome of it was huge, was this immense culture shock, which when I came back, that's when the biggest culture shock was, coming back to Canada. My first day back in school, I was sitting up straight, my nails were cut, my hair was cut, I was facing forward, I had my notebook ready. And then I started looking around the class, and like people had their feet on the table. They were just hanging out, wearing whatever clothes, that were available that day. The teacher walked in, and so this was grade 9 now for me, and they started making fun of the teacher, and the teacher didn't do anything about it. That was my first experience coming back in school, and I was just blown away, like, whoa, even though just 1 year prior to that, I would have been that kid, making fun of the teacher. So that really spurred on something within me, which was, is it just the culture that's different? Like, what's going on with the world, basically? And what is this whole religion thing? Because also in India, I met the Baha'i community. And there's a pretty strong Baha'i community where I was in St. Albert, Alberta. And so at that point, I realized I really need to do something, that's good, essentially, because I realize in both of these cultures, there are some pros and cons, I guess you could say. But I knew in that moment I wanted to do something that was a little bit more on the pro side, regardless of the culture. And so I said, this Baha'i thing is the thing that I really have that's unique to me. And so that spurred on just action. I was pretty action oriented. So yeah, that's when I really made that internal choice. But when it really locked in for me with really solidifying my identity and belief as a Baha'i is soon after that I went to a Baha'i youth camp in the summer where we studied some of the stories of the early Baha'i people in Iran. And their stories are so inspiring, right? And so that for me was it. Like I said, these are my heroes, so I want to be like them. Yeah, I haven't looked back since.
So I'm speaking with Karim Rushdy, musical producer, songwriter, performer, and founder of the Rap Camp, which we'll get into momentarily. Was music a big part of your growing up years?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't remember my time in Haiti, but definitely when you're, 0 to 3 years old, the music that's around you will play a strong role for sure, whether you remember it or not. And Haitian music is powerful stuff with the rhythms. And then we went to India, which is another land of rich music, like potentially some of the oldest music that we know about. So the music was extremely prevalent and there in my life. What I don't have is like a musical family. Like we're not like playing instruments all day and singing songs all day. It's not like that, but we're big lovers of music, listening to music quite a bit. So that's what I grew up with. And then coming to America, I heard immediately a new form of music, this American pop music and also rap music. Yeah, it's always been there as a listener. It wasn't until a little bit later on when one of my friends actually wrote a rap and I said, wait a minute, you don't have to be famous to write songs. You can just write a song. If you could do it, I could do it. So then that's how I started.
What age was that, Karim?
I think that was probably age 12, something like that.
So I'm speaking with Karim Rushdy, musical producer, songwriter, performer, and founder of the Rap Camp. And what I wanted to do, Karim, was to feature some of the music you have made over the years. You picked a few selections, and the first one that you picked was a song called Mona, which you collaborate with Nabil Mahadam. So maybe you could explain that collaboration and the song Mona.
Yeah, for sure. So after high school, I had this plan to study education and become a teacher. And I was actually enrolled in a university in Edmonton, Alberta, but then I was in Ontario on a family visit. And, my father was there and he said, hey, what do you love? Like, are you doing that because you love to do that? And I said, well, yeah, I think it's a good idea to, become a teacher. I would be passionate about it, I believe. he said, okay, but what do you really love? I said, well, I love music, and I had just started at that point trying to make music with GarageBand, which is a music creation and editing software on the computer. And then my uncle was there and he said, well, I know someone in music school. And then I said, well, I don't play instruments. Like, how can I go to a music school? I've never classically studied anything in music. So I don't see how I would qualify to go there, because in my mind, it was just Berkeley music, in my head, like the most elite music schools. Anyways, and so this guy that my uncle knew, his name was Nabil, and he was studying at Metalworks Institute close to Toronto in Ontario, where they have a music production and audio engineering program. So you're approaching the world of music from the lens of equipment or computers, which worked for me because I didn't have any musical training. And I went to check out the school and I was immediately sold. I fell in love with it. It was exactly like my home. Yeah, so I went and met Nabil, and also him and I clicked from the beginning as friends. As to the next part of your question was about the song Mona. So that's, I think, the second or third song we ever made together. So Nabil actually sent me the recording. He had guitars and he had a chorus on there, his singing chorus. And at that time, there was going to be a movie made called Mona's Dream. And so I was on the Mona's Dream website at the exact moment that he sent me this file, this audio file. And he said, hey, maybe you can write to this, right? And so as I'm sitting here looking and learning about the story of Mona, and for anyone who's listening right now, if they don't know who Mona is, she was a young Baha'i Iranian youth who was teaching children moral and spiritual education. For some reason, the powers that be at the time found it beneficial to their cause to kill this young girl, this 16-year-old girl named Mona. And so her story is riveting, and it's not an old story. This happened in the 80s. It's very new. And so I was on this website just crying, just like really emotional. I was in my feels, Warren. I was in my feels, and I was just really inspired by her story. And then I had this audio file playing. And so the whole song my sections that I wrote, it really happened extremely fast. I'd say in about 1 hour from the moment I said, why don't I write about Mona? And then about 1 hour and it was completely finished. And so on the website were, some of her actual things that she said, quotes, and she wrote I think a report for her school or an essay, something like that. My memory is faded now, but basically I quoted some of what she actually said. And so, yeah, so the song is about the story of this young girl, Mona.
This song is about a girl named Mona. She was executed at the age of 16. And until the last moment, she stood strong in the face of oppression. Innocent people torn from their homes. What is this prejudice? What is this hatred? Carried in sacks and beat to the bone. How is this violence meant to be sacred? Yeah, we all gotta sacrifice, but their souls carry on in the afterlife. Their souls carry on in the afterlife. Their souls carry on in the afterlife. And among these Baha'is arose one girl, had one dream just to change the world. They said, what could she do? Cause she's only 16. She could recognize truth that nobody had seen. She could change the world one soul at a time. Where is her freedom? A gift divine. She said reunion is life, separation is death. That's what I gotta say to my last breath. Go ahead, take me home, but don't take my family, take me alone. Alright, go ahead, take us all. I'm gonna kiss the rope, I'm gonna raise the call, she said.
Just take my soul away. Can you free me from these chains? God, where have you gone? Let me share with you my pain.
This is what she said. She said freedom is the most brilliant word that exists in the whole world. So why am I not free to exist in this community? I got dreams of liberty, but when I open up my eyes, all I see is tyranny. And I swear by the red in my veins that there is no love. I can only see pain, I can only see the blood that'll drip like rain. Only see the villains that are killing with no shame, and they're filling up the cemetery with all of my friends, not willing to stop. They go again and again. They're coming real fast and they're coming to attack. I'll sit right here, just breathe and relax. Think thoughts that'll make me smile. Gotta close my eyes, pray for a while. Cause reunion is life, separation is death. That's what I gotta say to my last breath. Go ahead, take me home, but don't take my family, take me alone. Alright, go ahead, take us all. I'm gonna kiss the rope, I'm gonna raise the call, and I'm ready to go, so please set me free. Please break these chains, Lord, when will it be?
Just take my soul away. Can you free me from these chains? God, where have you gone? Let me share with you my pain.
So I'm speaking with Karim Rushdy, music producer, songwriter, performer, and founder of the Rap Camp, and we'll get to the Rap Camp eventually. So we had just listened to the song Mona that Karim co-wrote with Nabil Mahadam. So the second song, My Prayer, is another collaboration. So why don't you tell us about that one?
Yeah, well, this one's a little more lighthearted and funny, the story of how it was made, which is like we made that song Mona, we put it up on Facebook. I mean, overnight there was hundreds of people commenting and saying how much they liked it. So we said, okay, let's make more songs like this, you know. Sounds like there is a need or a desire to have more of this music with these kind of central Baha'i figures or themes in our Baha'i community. So we said, okay, let's keep making some songs. Why don't we throw together like a little collection of songs? Anyway, so then we went to his studio quite a few times just to generate some ideas and see what we could do. And so then this one was, we didn't have a cohesive theme in mind or anything. We just said, let's just make some music. And this song, My Prayer, when we started making it, Nabil laid down this guitar riff that I thought was amazing. And then we added the drums to it and everything, and the vibe and the feeling. We thought like this is like a pop song, like, and then we started coming up with ideas like a classic love song, pop song, like, but it's not actually about love. It just sounds like it is, you know. That's what we started writing. Somehow one of us said, what are we doing? Like, let's just open a prayer book, a Baha'i prayer book, which we all use. We just opened up our prayer book and we just happened to turn exactly to the youth prayer. Is a prayer for the youth. So that's how this song, My Prayer, was made, because as we were reading it, we got really inspired. And so we just took our kind of, I guess, understanding of that prayer and also our own personal thoughts on what that could mean at this point in the world. And then my brother also joined us on that song for a verse. His name is Ashraf. So yeah, we all kind of shared our thoughts on the state of the world and the youth and how the youth actually have this prayer. So in the chorus, you know, is, this is my prayer.
Broken winged bird, and my flight is very slow. Remove the veils from my eyes so I can see the way and fly home.
How many wander on the paths of delusion? Confusion is a fact that'll mask the reunion. Union of men, when will it be? See how desperately we need unity, but who am I to unify nations and peoples? Domes and the steeples, we can be equal, if only we care. So I put my hands in the air, cause this is my
air, this is my prayer, this is what I breathe in, this is what I believe. I wanna guide the wayward, lead the hapless, awaken the heedless. heedless and free the captives. My air, this is my prayer. This is what I breathe in, this is what I believe. I wanna guide the wayward, lead the hapless, awaken the heedless and free the captives, yeah.
Oh, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. I am a broken winged bird, and my fight is very slow. Remove the veils from my eyes, so I can see the way,
So I can see the way
and fly home
to thy abode, where I will behold the source of the light that you shine when it's cold. But how will I know when it is time? And how do I grow if the sun don't shine? But when Baha'u'llah's words are spoken, I forget about my wings that are broken, and I can fly into the sky. No fear, no pain, with my hands held high. Cause this is my air, this is my prayer. This is what I breathe in, this is what I believe. I wanna guide the wayward, lead the hapless, awaken the heedless and free the captives. My air, this is my prayer. This is what I breathe in, this is what I believe. I wanna guide the wayward, lead the hapless, awaken the heedless and free the captives, yeah.
Give me wings,
Give me wings,
so I can soar, so I can soar and get closer to you.
yeah.
Give me
Give
wings,
me wings,
so I can soar.
give me wings so I can soar. Yeah, give me wings so I
I
can soar.
can soar.
Yeah, yo. This is my air, this is my prayer. This is what I breathe in, this is what I believe. I wanna guide the wayward, lead the hapless, awaken the heedless and free the captives. My air, this is my prayer. This is what I breathe in, this is what I believe. I wanna guide the wayward, lead the hapless, awaken the heedless and free the captives. My air, this is my prayer. This is what I breathe in, this is what I believe. I wanna guide the wayward, lead the hapless, awaken the heedless and free the captives, yeah.
So I'm speaking with Karim Rushdy, music producer, songwriter, performer, and founder of the Rap Camp. So the next song you wanted to feature is called I Got the Vibe. So why don't you tell us about that one?
Yeah, for sure. So this is a little bit more recent. I've been on this path as a solo artist to kind of find my voice in a way. And part of that is between my religious music, I guess you could say, and secular music. So I'm trying to find ways to bridge the gap, essentially, because if I always singing about or rapping about very precise Baha'i concepts and terms, it may not be intelligible or understandable to the general population of human beings. That's not necessarily a problem in my eyes. It's just something I want to kind of get better at, is just making a song that's inspired by my Baha'i beliefs, but is accessible to all people. That's kind of one of my goals. And so this song, I Got the Vibe, is not directly because of that thought, but when I have a thought and I write it down as a goal, it kind of influences everything I do after that. And so I made an album called The Vibe, and I just wanted to have, musically, lyrically, I wanted to create a vibe that represented who I was, and was also understandable to anyone who listened to it. And so in the song, I just simply say, there are these other messages coming at us. And I paint the picture like, for example, people are saying the weather is really bad, but I'm seeing sunny skies, and that's not about the actual weather. It's about in life, like when people maybe have a negative lens, viewing the world, my lens is actually quite positive. And that is influenced by my faith, but I don't say that in the song. So I think that kind of gives a little understanding where I'm coming from with the song. And then in the verses, I really touch on, some of the situation specific things in the world that are maybe not so good, and I share what I think we need to maybe solve some of the world's issues, or at least move in that direction. It's very basic things. Like I say, we need love and hope. It's presented in a way also musically. I think it's very fun and lighthearted, and there's some great singing. My friend JC joined me on the song singing, and he's one of my favorite singers. And Nabil also came back and played the guitar, and he added some backup vocals. And yeah, it's kind of one of my favorite songs that I've ever made.
So this is I Got the Vibe.
They're trying to talk about pain, well I live a good life. Say they can't stop the rain, all I see is sunshine. And me, I got the feeling everything is alright. The vision is everybody rise to the vibe.
Let me hear you say yeah, 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 yeah. I got the vibe over here. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got the vibe over here.
There's so much war, pain, drugs, violence. Kids in trap houses equals families divided. How many people live life instead of just survive it? There's hope behind this masquerade, we simply need to find it. So much hate, prejudice, anger and oppression, leaving beautiful voices with no chance for expression. How many answers never find their way to questions? Let's keep the vibe alive, come on, I'll jam to this session. Well, I live a good life, so they can't stop the rain, all I see is sunshine. And me, I got the feeling everything is alright. The vision is everybody rise to the vibe.
Let me hear you say yeah, 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 yeah. I got the vibe over here. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got the vibe over here.
How many youth trying to find a path? How many broken hearts over dudes trying to find a laugh? How many seniors reminisce of times past? There's hope behind this facade, we need to find it fast. We only love, light, warmth and acceptance. One beautiful life, no longer broken into sections. Can you picture this? We're all united in this movement, where we redefine the lines of where divine can be fused in. Woo!
Whenever the light is gone and darkness crept in, whenever the firestorm is all you rest in, whenever the road is torn and you can't find a way, just look for the vibe inside and let me hear you say yeah, 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 yeah. I got the vibe over here. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got the vibe over here. Yeah, 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 yeah.
About pain, well I live a good life. Say they can't stop the rain, all I see is sunshine. But me, I got the feeling everything is alright. The vision is everybody rise to the vibe. Let me hear you say I got the vibe. Say I got the vibe. Let me hear you say I got the vibe. Say I got the vibe. Yeah.
So I'm speaking with Karim Rushdy, musical producer, songwriter, performer, and founder of the Rap Camp, and we're listening to some of his songs. The last one we just listened to was called I Got the Vibe. So the next song is called 5 Minutes. So tell us about that one.
Yeah, this one is completely different from anything I've ever done. So normally, I kind of, like I said, with the last one, I try to create like a vibe, or I try to, have a intended purpose behind the song. But this one is special to me because it really is like a streamlined flow of consciousness out of my brain somewhere. And I wrote the first verse while holding my daughter. She's about 6 months old. I was holding her in my arm and writing the verse at the same time. The piece of music was made by my friend JC. It's on my album called Paradox. So every song speaks to this paradox that we live in right now in the world. And so in this song, I do have a theme and purpose, which just happened. I didn't intend for it, which is basically this idea that even with maybe 5 minutes a day, we can unleash or unravel or unveil this beautiful, divine, spiritual world available to all of us through prayer and meditation. And so even 5 minutes a day can accomplish that. I don't say exactly that in the song, but that's after I wrote it and sat back. I said, I think that's what this is about. So some of the lyrics are a little convoluted and hard to understand. And that's because I didn't have a concise message to give. And so maybe other people will glean other understandings from the song, which I'm excited to hear. And the other thing about this song that has a special significance for me is the guitar solo at the end was played by my friend James. And he actually passed away 1 year ago. And so the song gives new meaning now, when someone passes on to the spiritual realm, what they've left behind has a unique significance, I think. Yeah, it's a very important song for me, I feel, partially because of that and the lyrical content as well. I'm really excited for people to sit down and listen to it. Musically, it's also different than anything I've ever tried. I didn't make the music, but I've never tried to rap on a song like this. In the verses, there's not much going on, so I'm just kind of rapping to nothing almost. So it allows the words to be the main focus of the song, which are kind of hard to understand, I think.
So this is called 5 Minutes.
Imagine the equivalent of God streaming a live image. But instead of subscribe to my channel, he said confide in this. It takes less than 5 minutes to dive in it. Would you take the plunge, or would you buy gimmicks? And what if all the lies finished with you and your pride diminished? Now think back, would you give back all the time given to a wasted space that was made from hate? If only we could face the grace of God, then maybe we could trace what we find in it. Like I've heard that love lives where the mind isn't, but my mind was divinely given, made out of love. So I guess I see with divided vision, one for this world and the other for above where I'm living. I just want to be heard, but rarely do I listen. Trying to live a spiritual lifestyle is like my mind's eye trying to undergo nuclei fission. That's why with the soul there's a fine line between less than 5 minutes and a lifetime. It's time different. Life is like a mystery when you begin to solve the puzzle you can see in the enigma. They say the lion is king, but how'd he do in 3 winters? Look into a polar bear's eyes, Hakuna Matata, man, I see Simba. I'm deep in the perfect paradox, pictured in reverse and painted with these fingers. AKA I'm writing rhymes while intoxicated by the finest wine, the love of God, just to help you unbelieve stigma. And so I reach into the conundrum of life and pull you out. If you let heaven speak for 5 minutes, you'll feel peace in the center of your soul, and you can decipher the despair and bleak life of these Pied Pipers and speak sweet streams from spiritually free vistas. If time is of the essence, then the essence needs remixes, aka please let it be switched up. Please let it be switched up.
I'm speaking with Karim Rushdy, musical producer, songwriter, performer, and founder of the Rap Camp. We just finished listening to his song 5 Minutes. The next song we're going to feature is called First Council. So why don't you tell us about that one, Karim?
Yeah, for sure. So this song is kind of interesting. It was going to be a Nabil and Karim song, actually. We found ourselves together writing again. Nabil had this incredible guitar riff that I thought was just out of this world. So as soon as he recorded it, we were set up together in Stratford. He recorded it, and I immediately laid down the drums on it, which are some of the most playful drums I've ever produced. But then the actual process of writing the song took a while. It took quite a while. And I was picturing Nabil, singing the chorus, and then myself rapping in the verses. But it was hard to actually get anything to happen. For some reason, we hit like a little bit of a writer's block, I guess you could call it. But I like to think of those sometimes as just approaching it in the wrong way. Sometimes a certain song has its own life, and if you're trying to impose your will on it, it won't really work out. And so as soon as I succumbed to saying, hey, maybe this won't work, with me and Nabil, and maybe someone else should sing on it or something like that, I just really opened up to the possibilities. For some reason, like right soon after that, Nabil said, hey, maybe I shouldn't be the one who sings on it because I can't really think of a melody to this, which usually he can to everything. And same with me, I couldn't think of anything to write. But then as soon as he said that, it like opened up this moment, I don't know. And I thought immediately of this, it's called A Hidden Word from Baha'u'llah. And if it's okay, I'll just read it. He says, O son of spirit, my first counsel is this: possess a pure, kindly, and radiant heart, that thine may be a sovereignty, ancient, imperishable, and everlasting. And I love this. This is one of my favorite writings from Baha'u'llah. He's basically giving the blueprint to the basic necessity of life in a way, possess a pure, kindly, and radiant heart. And I always think if everybody did that, what kind of world would we have? Probably a great one, probably a safe one. Anyways, so then that just unleashed this whole world of lyrics. And so the whole song is just me, my voice. I'm the only voice on there. As opposed to, I usually love to collaborate, but I did the chorus and the verses, and it's all rapping. And yeah, I just had a lot of fun with it, man. I really, really enjoy this song a lot. We actually filmed a music video to it recently, and you can find it on YouTube if you search, Karim Rushdy, First Council. And we had a lot of fun with that as well. And I really hope it inspires people. I hope people will hear these words of Baha'u'llah, maybe if they've never heard them, and say, wow, that moved me, or not, whatever. It's all good. But yeah.
So this is called First Council.
Yeah. Here we go, come on. Hey. Woo. Yeah. Oh, son of spirit, my first counsel is this: possess a pure, kindly, and radiant heart, that thine may be a sovereignty, ancient, imperishable, and everlasting. Don't label me without a human eye. That's prejudice with a new disguise. I'm not surprised with these headlines when they're locked up behind like juveniles. It's like real life is the parody, perpetuating disparity. But buried neath this plastic life is a sacrificing of verities. This foundation is how basic, like tying your shoes with brown laces. But somehow these hounds take it, foul beasts in foul places. The struggle is real, living this life, making this money, then spending it twice. Looking in mirrors, reflections of vice. But how will I send me your heavenly might? Oh, son of spirit, my first counsel is this: possess a pure, kindly, and radiant heart, that thine may be a sovereignty, ancient, imperishable, and everlasting. Oh, son of spirit, my first counsel is this: possess a pure, kindly, and radiant heart, that thine may be a sovereignty, ancient, imperishable, and everlasting. Now enable me with your open eyes to show my radiant heart with no disguise. There's 11 letters between you and I, but it's just a lie if we can't unite. That darkness is so present. Together we shine so fluorescent. Perfect is what we're both less in. This is my whole message for every young girl trapped by a twisted man that justifies his lust behind his love for his cash. And every young boy who got no one to look up to. Man, I feel for you, but ain't no need for fearing you. Just stand beside truth and you see those answers find you. And if they don't, then that's cool, cause I know soon that you'll get through. Just keep the words that you say the same as what you actually do, and just keep raising that roof, cause I know God will guide you. So keep your heart pure and keep your heart kind. Let your heart be radiant, and you'll shine for all time. Here we go, come on! Imperishable and everlasting.
I'm speaking with Karim Rushdy, music producer, songwriter, performer, and founder of the Rap Camp. And we had just listened to his song First Council. And now, Karim, our last selection is called Reach Out. So why don't you tell us about that one?
It's kind of exciting that I put this one, or that we have this one here and in the order, because this one actually came out before the Vibe and after the Nabil and Karim stuff. Basically, it's really about this concept that we are not just individual human beings living in our own siloed existence, but in fact, we are coexisting with other human beings. You know, this wild concept that we're not alone in this world. That's kind of what this song is about. And you can tell because of the title. The fact of the matter is we can feel as though we are alone, but we're not. And so we need to reach out maybe to those who are feeling alone. And if we're feeling alone, we need to reach out to others so that we stop feeling alone. You know, I really think it's a problem when so many people feel like they're the only ones in the battle of their life, because they're really not. Even people in some of the worst situations and scenarios who are dealt the toughest hand in life to deal with, there's always someone that can be found. And if it means even moving to a whole new place, or, you know, just changing the routine of life, in, I don't know, meeting the neighbor, you know, that's always there, there's always some joy to be found, some connection to be made. That's what the song is really about. I'm not sure if the message is conveyed that clearly. The inspiration behind the song is that. And on the song is my cousin. He does a spoken word at the end. And it really is a powerful spoken word. You know, he speaks about this idea of feeling alone, and he paints such a beautiful picture, I feel, with his lyrics and his words about what it might feel like for someone who is feeling that way. And then in the chorus is Sarah Taborn, a young Baha'i girl that I know. I met her first at the Lou Helen Baha'i School in the United States. And anyway, she ended up coming to the Nancy Campbell School where I teach. And so she ended up being my student. So I got my student and my cousin. And my little cousin was also my student as well for a bit. So it was also an incredible experience to collaborate with the next generation, these young, talented artists, and feature them on my album. So yeah, reach out.
Freed from my subservience and subjugated turbulence, I took the earliest opportunity to be like Perseus. So the next time that I'm looking for confirmations, I look up to the sky and I embrace the constellations. These words flow fresh from my mouth like I'm coughing mints. There is a higher power and it's dropping hints on how to reach spiritual opulence. The copy prints that box me and were trying to stop me since I broke free and saw the rays of the sunshine. But once you're found, you can never unfind. So breathe in, breathe out, and begin to reach out. I remember those times that I got cheated out, but now I'm a changed man, moving fast like a cheetah's mouth. My mistakes, they look small like snakes look to an eagle's snout. I'm a leader now, I'll give you something you can blast through your speakers now. I'll give you something that lasts, I'll send a beacon now. And when you hear it, don't fear it, believe it loud. We are not robots, we are the people now. You're better than the gossip that you tweet about. Nobility is yours, be it now. So breathe in, breathe out, and begin to reach out. This is my cognizant hypothesis. What you believe could be opposite. I believe in God and in His providence. I have confidence. All these broken promises in the metropolis is so bottomless. Living this anonymous life without consequence makes the populace so homogenous. Your racism is still dominant. From the cowboy boots to the moccasins, fake tolerance is so prominent. It's an accomplishment to be honest with your consciousness and just honor it. The prophecies are fulfilled because Baha'i is upon us now. Yeah. I am, oh my God, but a tiny seed. Reaching out, shine your light on me. I'm stuck. Funny how they call it a free country when all you ever feel is trapped. It's like everywhere I go, there's an ocean between me and whatever makes me happy. It's like every time I open my eyes, my eyelids just don't want to stay open. I open my windows only to shut my blinds, keeping all the lights on and still feeling dark on the inside. I can't hold a conversation. My friend asks me what the weather's like. I tell him to take a rain check because it never stops raining on the rolling hills to my cheekbones. Sometimes I just hate myself. Every single thing someone says about me hits like gunshots raining down on my chest. Maybe we were just wired this way. They tell you to find your happy place, but they never leave you a compass. All they leave you is alone, desperately trying to find some air while drowning in your own despair. There's always a wall, always another hurdle. They tell you just to be strong so you can push them down, but you're out of breath, wondering how the people that made you this way could sink so low. Soaked in all the troubles, all the responsibilities, and so much pressure. It feels like the pain is filling up your lungs, suffocating your breath, drowning out your voice. Trust me, I know how you feel. I'm just here to reach out to you.
I'm speaking with Karim Rushdy, music producer, songwriter, and performer, and founder of the Rap Camp. And we had just finished listening to his selections that he chose for the interview, the last one being Reach Out. So, Karim, where can people find your music?
Well, I've just, launched into the modern foray of streaming services. And so one by one, I'm uploading my albums. I think most of them are already there on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. So basically, they're available everywhere now. You just need to search for either Karim Rushdy or Nabil and Karim or Two Inspired. That's TWO Inspired. That's myself and Arlen. We have a a little group. But I also have my website, karimrushdy.com. And there's also YouTube.
So I'm speaking with Karim Rushdy, music producer, songwriter, performer, and founder of the Rap Camp. So let's talk about the Rap Camp. You're the founder of the Rap Camp, so tell us about that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, the way that it started is I know someone who was experiencing bullying in their school quite strongly. And they started writing raps to express their feelings about this, but they weren't sharing it with their parents. And so their parents reached out to me and said, "Hey, we know that you do rap. Like, would you be willing to take them in, for a weekend and kind of teach a little more about rapping and music production so that the expression skills can improve and maybe the confidence to share with more people?" And I said, yes, absolutely. I would love to do that, And so as I started preparing some ideas of what we would do together for one weekend, I actually stayed up the entire night, and it was like the floodgates had opened of ideas. I started creating almost a curriculum of what we would do and how we would do it. And I even, got to the point where I said, it can't just be this one participant, it needs to be other participants of a similar age. And I need to create an environment of respect and encouragement for these youngsters where, I do actually control the environment, and that would be the main focus, and that the rapping and the music production and all that other good stuff, a vehicle of expression would be it would be the bonus. If we can do that, that's great. But what we're really focusing on is respecting each other and encouraging each other. And that's the skill set that the Rap Camp actually teaches. It feels non-direct, though, when you come to a Rap Camp or experience a Rap Camp workshop. I do share the rules, I treat them as rules, encouragement and respect. But then we just dive into what we do, but we're always upholding those rules. And so just by doing that, I've had people in tears afterwards with joyful tears saying, "I've never felt like this. I've always been bullied. And for some reason now I feel included," and there's so many stories like that. So the Rap Camp is really this culmination of my experiences and my passions in life coming together. And, as a Baha'i, I was part of something called the Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program, not as a junior youth, but as a junior youth animator, someone who works with that age group. And so that's really where I developed a lot of these skills and ideas. And so now I'm kind of applying those to the Rap Camp as well. And it's a lot of fun. We learn how to produce beats and beatbox. And if you don't know what beatboxing is, it sounds like this. Yeah, there's a little sample for you.
That's great. So I'm speaking with Karim Rushdy, music producer, songwriter, performer, and founder of the Rap Camp. And he was just telling us about the Rap Camp. And Karim, where can people find out more and sign up for the Rap Camp?
Yeah, you can go to therapcamp.org, O-R-G. We also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/therapcamp. You can message us on there. And yeah, the team is growing quite quickly this year, but up until this year, it's just been a team of one. Myself and also my wife, Julie, has really helped a lot with the Rap Camp. And I just want to share real quick, importance of having other people involved with what you do, because I started it with very pure intentions, but then after a while, I thought, okay, I need to make lots of money, and I was focused on money. But it was my wife, Julie, who said, I don't know why you're doing that. Like, your focus needs to be on the transformation of the youth, and that's how you should derive your success, and the money will be an outcome of that, hopefully. And then as soon as I did that, I started making more money with the Rap Camp, which is very interesting. I think the intention that we put out into the world is what comes back to us. And so that's kind of what's been happening. And this is the biggest year by far for the Rap Camp. It's very exciting, man. For me, it's like emotional. It's like exactly what I love doing. And it just started very organically.
So, Karim, I want to thank you so much. It was a pleasure to talk to you about your music and to find out about the rap camp. So, thank you so much for joining us on A Baha'i Perspective.
It's absolutely my pleasure to be here.
I hope you enjoyed that interview with Karim Rushdy, rapper, songwriter, and founder of the Rap Camp. You can find his music on his website, karimrushdy.com. You can find out about the Rap Camp by going to therapcamp.org. You can find this interview and other interviews at abahaiperspective.com and on the YouTube channel, A Baha'i Perspective. You can also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes by searching for A Baha'i Perspective. For information specifically on the Baha'i Faith, you can go to the website baha'i.org, or you can call the toll-free number 1-800-22-UNITE. I hope you join me next time on A Baha'i Perspective. This is WXOJLP Northampton, 103.3 FM, your Valley Free Radio station, streaming at www.valleyfreeradio.org.